on Summerhill. Today I am at home in Florida, and but the rest of this video is while I was in Maine, and this video is about refinishing the top of an old piece of furniture. So this piece of furniture is called an Eastlake, and Eastlake is the name of a man. During the Victorian period, he came up with a guide that really just brought the Victorian period from the very ornate factory manufactured pieces of furniture back to an arts and crafts style. So back to hand craftsmanship, beautiful artwork done. And you'll see on this piece, like there's some carvings, these kinds of things. So definitely an emphasis on hand craftsmanship, and I'll show you more of that in the video. But we're going to refinish the top, and then I don't have a lot of experience with stain, working with stain. So Val is going to share with us years and years and years of staining. She's going to share with us some of her overall experience and some of her tips. So she says, she kept reminding me I'm not an expert. You know, she's an amateur is what she was saying, but you know, it's the people who have done it over and over. Those are the ones I like to hear, because they have little tips and tricks that really work for them that sometimes you don't see in a manual or a guide. So then at the end of the video, we're going to go visit some ruins in Maine, and they're really cool. So definitely stay till the end and check that out. It's a lot of fun. And Valerie pushed me to face my fear while we were visiting the ruins. So check that out, and and I hope you guys enjoy it all. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out. So let's head over to Val's and check out this beautiful Eastlake piece of furniture. Okay, so this is the piece that we're going to refinish, and we're only going to refinish the top because it is in bad condition. But this is an Eastlake piece of furniture, and I'll give you more information about Eastlake, but I can tell you that this piece we're thinking is around 1875. A few things I've learned about Eastlake furniture is that the person who came up with a book or like a guide during the arts and craft period of the Victorian period was Charles Eastlake, and he really wanted to bring back the hand craftsmanship, the beautiful work of art that furniture could be. So he came up with basically like a handy guide that people could follow. Now, the Victorian era in England has a little bit of a more handcrafted look than when it came to America. To begin, Valerie recommends that you take your piece of furniture outside if possible, because whenever you're sanding or doing any prep work, it will be outside where you're getting fresh air and you won't be making a big mess in your house. Remember, we're only refinishing the top, so that's why the drawers are missing. But here it is outside and ready to go. Now, prep work is probably one of the most important things when you are refinishing a piece of furniture. So you want to look carefully for any stains, dent, any grime, anything that you need to clean off. Have you ever had this before where it looked like there was something down into the...
No, not that bad. But it does make me think there's a finish of some sort, because that looks what like lacquer looks like when it's sanded off. Yeah, see there's a shine in here. And I'm wondering if that's got a little finish of some sort on it. That's good. Yeah, I definitely think I might wear a little mask for that.
I think that is coming up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks like it's starting to thin out.
So you don't think that's just years, that yellowy tone is just years of aging?
Well, I don't know. If it had an oil finish on it, it could be.
Yeah, it's just old base finishes.
Yeah,
yellow.
they definitely yellow because When we bought our pine furniture when we first got married, all I did was put tung oil on it,
Yes.
and it definitely yellowed.
After Valerie spent some time looking over the piece, she shared with me that when she first brought it home from the thrift store, she did wash it with Dawn and water. It didn't have a lot of dirt or grime on it, so she simply just dropped a drop of Dawn in some water, washed it, and then rinsed it with a clean, wet rag. Now that Valerie has everything assessed and repaired, she decided to go with an electric sander to remove the finish on the top. One thing Val wanted to point out is if you're using a sander, make sure you only use it on flat surfaces or squared surfaces. Like the back here, it's a perfect 90-degree angle, so it's okay to use it there. But other places that have like a decorative edge or a rounded edge, she does those by hand. Okay, so the first step is 100 grit sandpaper. That's what she's using to kind of get whatever finish is off the top of it. And this area we've been testing out is just not coming up. So it looks like that's going to be a part of the beautiful antique vintage design of the top. Okay, next she's going to get and hand sand these edges because this is a rounded piece. We don't want to lose that or this nice edge here. For this part, Valerie is using 100 grit. Now we're cleaning up with the shop vac, and then we're going to go back over the wood with a super fine sandpaper. And what grit is this?
This is 600.
600. You're going to make it as smooth as a baby foot.
But you can go up, they have even finer than this.
Oh,
yeah. And I will use this sometimes in between my layers of urethane, polyurethane.
I bet that
Yeah.
makes it smooth. This is going to look so good.
That feels
now.
better. It doesn't look better, but it feels better.
Gives it clear.
As will this and whatever that is.
Okay, so we finished sanding. We've gotten all the edges. We've gotten the detail back here. And we then went over it with a 600 grit to get a nice smooth finish. And now we are going to remove the grit. Val is using a tack cloth to remove any excess grit that is on the top before she applies the stain. Now we are headed inside where there's less humidity before applying the stain. The stain Val is using is a golden oak color. She took a wild guess on this and she nailed it. Wait until you see. So we moved it indoors because there's a lot of humidity outside. So we're down in her basement, and if you are going to do any staining and there is a lot of humidity, she recommends you bring it indoors.
Or somewhere less humid.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always afraid for this very first part. It's like, oh, what's it gonna do? It already looks prettier though, I know that. See how it drips. Ah, wow. I can't believe there's that much. Yeah.
It does drip.
And that was one dip, so it's like keeping on
It goes
going.
a long ways. So why do you like using those little sponges? Those little paintbrush
I
sponges.
felt the bristles when I would try a bristle brush. Sometimes the bristles would come off. And I don't know if it was just because I wasn't using, you know, one that was expensive enough, but you know, like that's gonna stay.
Do some people use rags?
Some people use rags. I just like these because it doesn't dry on me quite as fast. I'll use a rag to wipe the stain off. That color looks nice though.
I know. It does look pretty good. What color is this?
Golden oak.
Golden oak. We have no idea what the original color was on this Eastlake piece of furniture. But wow, she made a really good guess.
I've painted enough other woods with this to know that it has a red tone.
So do you find staining to be a lot easier than painting?
Yes, I think it's more forgiving.
Really? See, I've always been intimidated by stain, but I'm hearing you say don't be.
Right. I think it's...
So now you're doing long strokes.
Yeah.
Is that like...
That's just so there's no obvious... I mean, this isn't a finished coat, so it's fine. It's just to make sure everything is, like, it's way more important with polyurethane, you know, your finish. But I almost feel like it's working it in the wood. You can see where it's pooled, where it's thicker.
Yeah.
So
Now, will you take, like, a rag and go over that?
In about 5 minutes. We're going to let it sit on here about 5 minutes.
So it's kind of soak in.
All right.
Okay, so after 5 minutes, she takes a clean, lint-free rag, and she goes over it and removes all the excess
Look at
stain.
that. We're not going to need another coat of stain.
Looks good.
It does.
That's very good.
It's just 600.
600 grit.
Wet dry.
Okay, and then we're gonna lightly sand it.
Just enough to take down, like you said, they kind of like those, I mean, really light.
Next, Val removed excess grit with a tack cloth.
And this is the stuff that goes on milky and dries clear. And then I also have this, but this says we can put a second coat on in 2 hours. This says 3 to 4. So I recommend we go with this one today.
I like the idea if we can see it too.
Yeah. So we'll try that one.
Okay. Now, do you need to typically stir it or anything?
I do. I did already do that just to make sure I had enough and that it was good.
Yeah, it
so
is
it is.
light.
It is already stirred a little bit, but yeah, it's very milky.
And it's water based, so easy
Yep.
cleanup. And then what are you going to use that brush or that
I'm gonna use a foam brush. Yep.
foam brush?
Right here. All right, so this part goes kind of fast. Usually I have a rag for cleaning up. All right.
So you kind of start in one corner and go in a uniform, or
this stuff dries so fast that it's kind of fast and furious, and I honestly think I'm going to do it one way and end up doing it another. I end up almost doing sections. So I go all the way across. Half time it is drying. The second coat will go on better. It won't dry as quick. So I try to go fast, and I don't know. I go thick if I can.
have you thought of rolling it on with a
foam roller?
A foam roller? Yeah.
I haven't. Mostly because I always end up having spots like this that I'm not going to be able to get the roller in. And then it's like, well, now what do I do with that? So I haven't thought of doing that.
And this basically is a protection layer for the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hopefully means you won't get water rings.
Yeah.
And you won't get, it's easy to dust, you know, because dust will just wipe right off and not kind of stick.
Mm-hmm.
And try to go one last time, you know, across everything. But like I said, it starts to dry, and then it's like
It's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
The directions said to let the clear coat dry for 2 hours, but because of all the rain and humidity, we decided to give it more time. Later that evening, Valerie sanded the first coat and then she applied a second coat and let it dry overnight. The next day, she lightly sanded the second coat with a really fine grained sandpaper, and that's it. It's all finished. Here's a before to refresh your memory of what it looked like. And here it is now. Our first stop was at the Goddard Mansion, which was completed in 1868 for John Goddard in the Italianate villa design and prepared by Portland architect Charles Alexander. Alexander planned other prominent buildings in the area. The Goddard Mansion was built of native stone and was one of the first grand houses to be built along the Cape Elizabeth shore. Later, the mansion was acquired in 1898 by the U.S. Army and used for housing married enlisted men and their families stationed at Fort Williams. The basement was converted into the fort's non-commissioned officers' club. Now we are headed to an old battery. This battery was completed in 1905 and named for Erasmus D. Keyes, a Maine resident and graduate of the U.S. Military Academy. During World War II, this battery was the alert battery, which was manned and prepared to fire on any vessel which failed to identify itself properly. This looks like it used to be steps. These are steps.
Oh yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Cause see the bolt, the things up there. So this, I'm pretty sure that was steps up into there to that balcony. And Val said they used to go, you could go in there and it would go all the way across the back. It was dark and it would come out there. Turn on your flashlight. Hey, modern day right here.
It's cheating.
Go for it, girl. Turn on that flashlight. There might be critters in there.
There are going to be some little critters, but they're not going to hurt you.
Okay. Oh my. Can you not see when you get to the other side?
Yeah, it gets pretty dark in the back. And it'll be a little damp. I don't see a pipe anymore, though. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't see. Hang on, I gotta turn on a light or something on this. I can't. Wait, I gotta. Where is a? I can't turn on my camera. Okay, let me get closer to you. Okay, now.
Ready?
Oy. Okay, let's go. Wait.
Oh, there is still a pipe.
I can't see.
There's still a pipe, see?
Oh,
There is still a pipe.
Okay. Oh gosh, this is so scary. This is way out of my comfort zone.
We're almost done.
Oh, I stepped on that pipe.
Okay, there's another couple more pipes out there. See? See, but we didn't have flashlights when we did this.
Point down so they can see there's the pipe that we're trying to walk over without tripping. Okay. my
A
God.
little wet on this side. Like that. Now, if you don't want to go over that water, we can go back through the way we just came.
We can walk on that pipe.
Yeah, you can try it.
Okay, we're walking on this pipe.
Daylight!
I'm alive!
You made it!
I'm alive! Oh, look, you can see Cape Elizabeth. This is my niece, Valerie. Say hi.
Hello!
And that's Cape Elizabeth, right? What do you call
We're in
that?
the town of Cape Elizabeth. That's the Portland headlight.
That's the Portland Headlight, which is like one of the prettiest lighthouses in America.
I
wouldn't
think
you
the
say?
most photographed.
Most photographed, yeah. And then there's another one out there, right?
Yep, there's one there, and there's one over there.
And
behind that boat. And the
behind
ferry.
that boat.
Behind the ferry, there's another.
Okay, so wasn't that fun going to the ruins? I just love that kind of stuff. I don't know about you, but I love exploring architecture, old architecture, whether it's new, old. But I really hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have found the DIY helpful on how to redo wood. And I've got a blog post on that, so I'll put a link in the description so you can go check it out. It'll have even more details in that. But thank you so much for coming and joining me here today. I hope you are having a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.